And what is a vector? A vector is an ordered set of numbers that represents both a value and a direction. This arrow is a representation of a vector. It has a length or magnitude of 2.5 meters, and its direction is kind of up and to the right. We'll talk about how to find the direction of a vector later. Two vectors are equivalent to each other if they have the same magnitude and direction. These three sets of vectors are not equivalent to each other. They're either in the wrong direction, they have different magnitudes, or they have different units. When we name a vector, we normally put an arrow-shaped hat on top of the variable name. Just like numbers, vectors can be combined with addition or subtraction. They can also be multiplied. We'll talk about multiplication of vectors later. Let's combine vector A and vector B by using vector addition. First, we have to shift vector B so that it's connected to vector A, tip to tail. We can always shift a vector as long as we don't change its length or its direction. A plus B is the vector that points from the start of A to the finish of B, which we can call vector C. If we reverse the order and add vectors B and A together, we still end up with vector C. Like with real numbers, vector addition is commutative. To subtract vectors, we simply add the negative vector. A negative vector has the same length but is in the opposite direction. So A plus negative B is the same as A minus B. There are two ways to multiply vectors. The dot product takes two vectors and turns them into a number. A cross product takes two vectors and turns them into a single vector. We see the dot product in terms of work and energy, and the cross product in rotations and electromagnetism. We'll talk about the cross product later this semester. The dot product measures how parallel two vectors are. If two vectors are parallel, their dot product is the product of their magnitudes. If two vectors are perpendicular, their dot product is 0. For all other vectors, the dot product is the magnitude of the first times the magnitude of the second times the cosine of the angle between the two vectors.